It came down to exactly what we thought. The team who makes the least amount of mistakes walks away the winners. Congratulations to Tottenham. The James Maddison dagger was enough to get the 3 points. But the abundance of chances missed. Another goalkeeping error. When will this nightmare for Manchester United end? Hit the like and the share button. Make sure you're subscribing. Let's go. Congratulations, I want to say, first of all, to Tottenham. Deserved it because they took their chance. Man United couldn't do that. I don't know what the neutrals thought. There was a lack of quality at times from both teams, but maybe an entertaining game because it was quite open. There were chances for both sides. It could have gone either way on another day. So I'm sure the neutrals enjoyed loads of elements of that, whether it's laughter, whether it's excitement, I don't really know. And to be honest, at this particular moment, I don't care. But well done to Tottenham. James Maddison, I thought, had an excellent game today. I was glad to see Sky Sports gave Jed Spence the man of the match. I did think he was the best player on the park. And I'm glad that he's now getting game time at Tottenham. It was always an abomination that he never got the game time before. So well done to him. Vicario deserves a big shout out because he made 2 or 3 very good saves today to stop Manchester United from going ahead and equalizing in this game. And you could hear the anxiety and the frustration and the nervousness at White Hart Lane from their fans at the idea of going a goal behind, conceding that goal. And that's where my frustration lies. So I want to congratulate those players. I thought Maddison, Jed Spence, I mentioned, Vicario really stood out today and performed exemplary. I'm sure that Spurs fans have noticed other players on their sides that have done that. My frustrations today, look, I'm going to start with the manager, if I'm being honest. I'm just going to get that out the way because I know people want to go in on him. I don't know what we were doing in the first half. We had Bruno doing this weird thing on the right where it was creating a massive hole in the middle, which really exposed Casemiro. And there was always an easy out ball for Tottenham. Always an easy out ball onto the left-hand side. And I was frustrated that he didn't address it sooner. That was a big mistake from him. In terms of the personnel he picked, fine. I'm not going to complain about it considering the massive injuries we accumulated this week. We literally had a bench full of kids that have never kicked the ball professionally. So I understood that. But with Amorim, he made the adjustment in the second half and he actually switched Bruno and Casemiro to the opposite sides of the midfield, had them sitting more in a double pivot style, and it stopped that out ball being so easy. But we had to then attack more, so Spurs were still able to counter, and they countered very, very well at times, Tottenham, and their fans will probably be annoyed they didn't score more goals as well. So Amorim, I think that was his big mistake. The only other thing I'd criticize him for is I do think some of the young players deserved, maybe not deserved is the right word, but I felt that he should have gone to the bench and thrown in a few more of the youthful players 10 minutes, 15 minutes earlier than he did. We had an opportunity where it was a good bit of play on the counter. Garnacho into Dorgu. Rasmus has a good shot, brilliantly blocked by Jed Spence. That moment for me was when he 100% came out of the match. And I tweeted at that point because I felt that that was going to be it for us. We were looking like we were running out of steam. And I felt then bring on Obi at that point. Maybe bring Kone into the middle to give us a little bit more legs, a little bit more bite. And Amorim didn't do it. So they're my 2 criticisms of him today. Outside of that, context of our season and how poor we've been, the injuries that have happened this week. So it's not as though we've had 2, 3, 4 months to work on a system to adapt to it. My biggest bugbear today was, again, Onana. Just such weak wrists at times from that man. From such a big geezer with such a muscular frame. The way he just parries that out for a tap-in for James Maddison is absolutely horrendous. And the volume of mistakes from that man that have cost us goals, cost us points, cost us places in competition since he's been at Man United is absolutely horrendous. So a mistake from him, and he almost led to the second goal with a bad throw out at the end. He just had a disaster in goal today. Yep, in between that, did okay, but you can't ignore those massive, and it wasn't even that great a shot from Bergvall. He should be parrying that round for a corner, which, by the way, we defended corners really, really well today. So absolutely get that done. The other element that I really want to shout out or condemn with Man United is our lack of finishing again. When we did the preview for this on Friday, by the way, I wouldn't have predicted it being 3-2 to Man United if I knew that at the time, if I knew that Mainu, Ugarte, Collier, and Ahmad were all going to miss this game. I wouldn't have done that. I would have predicted something like a 1-0 to either side because I knew it would be end-to-end and open. And I think if Ahmad's in our team today, I think we score some of those chances. But our inability to score gave Tottenham life today. I've already praised Vicario for 2 or 3 of his saves, but it was the elements around that. Delo has got a shot, connect with it properly. Watch it again, doesn't connect right. If he connects with that, doesn't matter that Davis is on the line, it goes in. If he gets his laces through it, too much power, it's a goal. And even if it hits the defender, it probably bounces in. At 1-0, that was a 0-0. Could have gone 1-0 up. We then have Garnacho beautifully played in by Bruno Fernandes. It's so simple. Absolutely skies it. Another massive chance. That would have made it 1-1. In the second half, another big chance for Garnacho. Played through. Very good first touch. Goes for the wrong type of shot. Goes with the inside of his foot when he should lace it. Again, fair play to Vicario for the save. But then all he's got to do is square it for Rasmus for a tap in. And I know every Spurs fan, I'm going to watch Kate's reaction backstage for this one. When that ball fell back to Garnacho and Rasmus is in the middle, every Spurs fan gasped and held their breath. Garnacho shins it, doesn't go to him. Then you have the Xerxes opportunity, a very good headed opportunity. At the very least hit the target, but I think he's got to be scoring and he misses it. And for me, that's been my biggest criticism of this United team for the majority of this season. Stupid mistakes at the back. Onana parrying it straight to James Maddison. And then the abundance of chances that we miss. We miss so many good opportunities in so many games. It's absolutely infuriating. It's infuriating. I don't mind it so much when Jed Spence gets a good block in. The goal, Garnacho shot where Vicario pulls off a good save. Fair play. Fair play to you. If defenders are getting blocks in and stopping you, fair play. Because there's an element of excellent defending there. But the great opportunity from Garnacho that he skies, Garnacho should be cutting that ball back to Rasmus. I know he's a little off balance, but I still think he's got to keep his composure. He panics. And I think Xerxes should be hitting the target. There's no doubt about it. Those things infuriated me more than any other element of Man United's play tonight. It's just again and again and again. Miss. Mistake at the back, concede. It's been the pattern of our season. Now, aside from that element, look, I actually didn't think Cass did that bad today. Considering the lack of game time and everything else, I was okay with him, especially in the second half. Bruno Fernandes today got right up my nose. Got so far up my nose, he's buried somewhere in my brain. There was some good crosses. There were some good passes where you go, wow, that was brilliant. But the amount of times the captain today had the ball in a good area of the pitch, no real pressure. Let's keep calm and build up. Because invariably, when we kept calm and built up play, we created either opportunities where we should be getting shots off, or we created clear-cut chances. Bruno, and it weren't even Hollywood balls. It was just standing on the ball funny, pirouetting and twisting into fucking trouble, going forward when he should go backwards to recycle it. Bruno Fernandes today was an absolute joke. Yes, he created the Garnacho chance. Yes, he put the good cross in to the back post, which led to I think that might have been Garnacho's shot that was well saved at the bottom post by Vicario. I forgot about the opportunity. But I can't just take those great passes and ignore the amount of almost unforced errors that he made in the middle of the park. Horrendous. Another bad day for us in the office. And I understand there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be trials and tribulations. Yes, there was a massive injuries that have happened in the space of a week. And that's unfortunate. But I'm disappointed to walk away with a defeat today. And look, and there's another side to this argument, and I'm very open to it. So I don't think I'm ignoring that Spurs also countered and could have scored more goals as well. Absolutely. But I'm frustrated that we didn't take any of our opportunities again in this game because it's been such a common pattern. And when I say that, Spurs have been regular scorers this season. And a lot of their chances that they didn't score, we got blocks on them. We stopped the actual shot, the good shot, or the good opportunity, like sailing towards goal. And like I've said about the ones that Spurs blocked, that's great defending. The saves are good saves. I'm talking about the clear-cut chances that we had sailing over the bar. It's just unacceptable. Just so frustrating to lose. It really, really is. So frustrating to lose again. And look, congratulations to Tottenham. You deserved it. It's horribly gone the way not a way I wanted it to go. But I said the other day, and I hate when I'm right about these things, the team who makes the least amount of mistakes wins. And that was Spurs tonight. Goalkeeper didn't make any blunders. Defenders, in fairness, Man United defenders didn't make too many blunders either, to be fair. There was that, our mistakes were clear-cut chances, not scoring them, and blazing them over the bar, scuffing the shots, missing the target. And then Onana, with his biscuit wrists, Pompadour wrists. Gutted. Absolutely gutted with tonight. I really, really am. We're going to go to Super Chat before we bring the panel out. Thank you, Luke, for encouraging people to hit the like button. I appreciate that, mate. This loss is on Amorim. You've got to explain that to me, my bro. You've got to explain why it's on Amorim. I know a lot of people are going in on him now because they want to see an improvement in results. I felt he made a big mistake in the first half with the big hole he left in midfield with the way he had to set up. He addressed it in the second. Still should have been scoring those chances. I don't see how our back three missed those opportunities today. Maybe that's just me. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that looked like a proper relegation battle. Hey, listen, but you're talking about two teams right down the bottom of the league. And Spurs fans are not going to be offended by what I say here. That was more Dagenham versus Salford than Tottenham versus Manchester United. By both our clubs' recent standards and historic Premier League standards. So, yeah, I don't think it's disrespectful to say that. I would not say Man United was outclassed because Vicario was our man of the match. But I do, though. This is the point. When it came to the pivotal moments of the game, you had more class in front of goal and you had more class when it came to stopping our shots. We didn't. If Onana would have performed as well as Vicario today, it's 0-0. Genuinely believe that. But I might have forgot one. I don't, of course, I'm watching the game straight after. But if we put that round for a corner, the game might end 0-0. If Vicario made the mistakes that Onana did, and you guys missed your chances like we did, could have been 1-0 to us. So I would consider that outclassing us in those particular moments. We were rubbish, and only Spence and Vic were good. I thought Maddison was quite good as well, to be fair, today, Jerome. To all the United fans, as a United fan, the banter will be harsh from rivals. They will hype it up, and we will know we are lacking in multiple areas, but we need to keep faith and avoid the drop. Simple. Look, I've seen a lot of people turn on the manager. They think he should be getting better performances, and I understand the logic, and it holds water. I'm just not getting into manager in and manager out debates. We needed a set style of play. We've decided, stupidly, to not start it in the summer. These things happen. A lot of people will go, look, Moyes is getting results straight away. Yeah, a pragmatist taking over a team that's been set up for years to be pragmatic. And he's a very good pragmatist manager who's come home. So, yeah, I expect there to be an uplift. Had Man United gone, we'd have gone for Gareth Southgate. So a pragmatist taking over from a man who shouldn't have been a pragmatist but was, we would have had better results in the short term, but not in the medium to long term. I'm prepared to just try something different. I'll take the criticism and I'll give criticism on the bad displays, the mistakes and everything else. I would rather continue down this road. Some will say it's low standards. I disagree. I want to try something different. And I think that we should have started this in the summer. We went for it in the November. I hope my logic comes true. And people, you'd be copium, hopium. Yeah, it is. I don't run the football club. I'm a fan. I can only give an opinion and I can only give hope based on what we see. And if it goes wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong. And you know, like as a man, I'll feel no bigger or no taller. I'll feel no smaller or shorter. I'll feel no fatter or thinner, whether I'm right or wrong. because my footballing opinion, being right or wrong, does not dictate how I feel as a man. A lot of people it does, and they're too hell-bent on it. I'm just sticking with it. I hear the criticism, but I ain't sacking a manager right now. I want to build something. Sick to death of that goalkeeper. Listen, I agree, mate. I completely and utterly agree. And do you know what's mad, though? I would probably go more in on Amorim by now if he'd have kept him in, but our two backup goalkeepers are also injured. So I'm almost like, yeah, there's not much we can do about it either. One thing I wouldn't do right now is give a 16, 17-year-old kid a shot. I would stick with Onana in terms of with the injury set that's going on here. Sackable offences, if only made one sub the whole game. Yeah, look, I wouldn't call it a sackable offence in the context of the situation, but I certainly would have brought a couple of those players on sooner. Just through, do you know one of the reasons why I would have done it maybe 75, 76 minutes? Is Spurs listen, they attacked well, but they were defending a little nervously. You throw on two players in the attack who they've never seen before. There's that Kiko Makeda moment of, is he gonna touch and turn to the left? Is he gonna dummy? Is he gonna feint? Is he gonna go left side, right side, inside or out? They don't know anything about these players. They would have done no prep, really and truly. So you throw them in and give them a chance. Yeah, I was gutted by that. You were in a relegation battle with injuries. It's peak. Yep, it is. And we just got to accept it. Like, I don't find it offensive for you saying that. What I'd like for everyone saying we're in a relegation battle is I want you to go further. Do you think we're going down or not? Come on. You can do better than cheap shots. Bruno is way too good to be wasting away in a relegation scrap for United. Would trade for Odegaard easily. Listen, Bruno would do brilliantly in a team like Arsenal right now, where the defense is solid, you've got the midfield, and you go, right, we want you in the final third at the edge of the box. That's where you're going to be predominantly. Bruno thrives there. Bruno's having to play deeper and everything else because of the problems that we've got. I think he'd do a good job. Bruno, for me, I put him in the same category as Rashford and co. I just feel like a change is as good as a rest. I'm not married, but I think he'll actually be here for the next couple of seasons because there's so many other problems for us as well. Amorim's Premier League record is shocking, and no Ahmad to bow him out. Credit to Danso and Spence. Yeah, very bad start. Very, very bad start in the Premier League for him. There's no doubt. Eric Ten Hag having worse injuries both seasons and still won. Absolutely. But I'm not going to respond to this. I'm just going to read it out and say, are we ignoring the context of the style change? If you're going to do that, then your comment's right. But we all know why that is. If we went 4-2-3-1, pragmatic approach, we'd have got more points. But in the longer term, we'd end up back where we were at the end of Ten Hag's reign with no progression. So I'd rather try something different. Tell versus Højlund, battle of the useless. Listen, I didn't think Højlund was that bad in hold-up play today. There were some mistakes. There was times where he was too slow on the ball. It's the finishing today. The finishing from Xerxes and Højlund was my only real complaint today. I didn't mind them next to each other. What I would like to see is maybe do it 2 or 3 or 4 times on the bounce and let them build a little bit of chemistry. The problem that we've had, and this is on all the managers, is we've never really given them a chance. They get a game together or 20 minutes and then we go, didn't work, try something else. I was okay with it, really. Until, look, his finishing was off today, but I thought he was a pest. He was a pest. Tell is useless. If that was Solanke, we could have scored more. But I would also expect someone in their late 20s, mid-late 20s, to be better than an 18, 19-year-old, to be fair, Jerome. Fab posted, first home win in 105 days for Spurs. Well, that's all. Yeah, that gave me a gut feeling this morning they were going to win when I saw that record. Finishing on both sides was atrocious. I hear you. Our problem is fear. It has been for a long time, and this needs to be all or nothing. This needs to be all or nothing will change. Yeah, Baz, and this is why I've said up. Part of me is annoyed that they look so fearful, but I almost want them playing through this pressure so we can work out who is and isn't good enough. I like the idea these players know that if they don't perform, they're gone. I think it is hindering some of their performances. But there's going to be even more pressure if we become a better team. There's going to be even more pressure if we become a title contender in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time. So you're better off checking now who can handle it or not. Ed says, these players are so bad that it made the game look exciting. Reminds me of Sunday League. That cheered me up. Whoever appointed Amorim needs to be sacked with him. Changing formation isn't an identity. Still can't press, can't create, can't defend, can't score. What's the solution? All I'm going to respond to with these questions now. Same as the panel, if they want to bring it up. I'm not going to get into a debate because I think I've said and given my stance. You all know it, especially my little panelists with little smirks on their faces. You know my stance. I'm no longer responding. You give me the solutions and the names that would come in. And let's see what the response to your solution is, as opposed to repeating the same criticism week in, week out, week in, week out. Bring solutions, not problems. We are 15th in the league. If any other big team were in this position, they would have had a massive protest by the fan base. What you're missing is how we've got here. So yes, if Bayern or Real Madrid were 15th today, out of one mad season, there'd be protests. Anybody that didn't expect to fall to this point, all these years of ignoring every match reaction that I said, owners, and I got told, focus on the manager, focus on the players. We knew this was coming. This was an inevitable position we would end up in. When you are poorly run for over a decade, well, for 20 years, but it got worse when Fergie left, this is where we were. And the fans are only starting to protest now because ticket prices are going up and it's costing them more money. People are losing their jobs, which is part of it. But whenever I listen to people speak, the ticket prices is the biggest thing. If they said today the ticket prices are going to go back to normal and we're going to employ 50% of the people who made redundant back, the protest would stop. And I'm not judging those people, but United fans are almost resigned to this now. We know what we are. A manager too scared to gamble at Fergie's club. Give me a solution then. Watched Cheeto a lot whilst at our academy and know he has done damage to Ben Davis. Not just speaking out of hindsight. He's genuinely that good. Yeah, I really like the idea of him, and I would love to have seen him come on sooner. That criticism of Amorim holds a lot of water. Evening, Terry. Manchester United fans need to understand when Sir Kenny left Liverpool in the 90s, got Graham Souness, changed how Liverpool played. It's taken Liverpool 30 years to win the league. Yes. But every time they changed managers again, they kept on really trying to create a new style, a new identity, etc., etc. My point's a little different. Whatever we don't have a brand of football. So you've had a manager that had a brand of football that was working, and then you tried to change it to something else, and it broke, and then you could never quite repair it. This scenario is we're broken. We need to build a style of play, and we need to stick and persevere through it. If Ten Hag left because we were amazing and our style was brilliant, I'd be fuming that we were changing it to play like this. You look at Sporting. They've actually got away from a back three. They've gone like 4-3-3 and they're losing loads. Their fans must be going out of their mind. Hang on. How have you replaced Amorim with someone that doesn't play a similar brand of football? That is the negligence here. These are the games where you can see Bruno just isn't it. He was absolute dog shit. Dorgu and Xerxes were our two best players. Yeah, listen, a big shout out to Dorgu. I did think he was good. I thought Xerxes had really good moments on the ball until the last 10 minutes, and he just became erratic, but he should have scored. I also quite liked, I also thought that our centre-backs were quite good tonight as well. I didn't think they put a foot wrong either. Hey, do you think maybe relegation would be good for United and get the Glazers to sell? No. And I'll tell you as to why. Until Man United fans are willing to pull the money away from the club, they won't sell. And I know there's a lot of people that think, we were nearly bankrupt according to Sir Jim. If Sir Jim hadn't have got on board, we'd have gone bankrupt. The Glazers would have sold. No. They'd have just pumped some money in. They'd have sold some non-voting right shares, pumped that money in to keep it solvent. Because why would they allow a £6 to £7 billion company that they paid nothing for fall? Like anyone who thinks they would have allowed that to happen is deluding themselves immensely. Judge the manager on a full squad and not an injury-ravaged one. Amorim is a good manager, and it is just unlucky. Look, I'll criticize the manager, but I'm just not judging him yet. I'm not judging him yet. There's a difference between criticism and judgment. And I'm not convinced that he's a bust. I'm not convinced that I'm not convinced it's the right thing to do to go back to a 4-2-3-1, play within our means, and just do what we did under 10. I just don't think that's going to help us. And the real proof in the pudding is going to be after this coming preseason and summer and how we start next season. And this is what I would say is that a lot of people have said we should have just stuck with Ruud to the end of the season and then started again in the summer. That holds water. But that also means that the beginning of the season, you're only 2 or 3 months into implementing that style still. This way around means you may have a terrible second half of this season, but we should be much better at the beginning of next season than if we started in the summer. So the reason I'm annoyed the season is a bit of a write-off. Of course I am. But the football world doesn't end in May. The cycle keeps going. So there's a positive to it and there's a negative to it. And I'm just on board. I'm just relaxed about that side of things. What is Amorim's style? Never won anything like Ten Hag. Well, if you don't think Amorim has won anything as a manager, I just go and do your research. I'm not going to dignify that with a full response. And when you say, what is his style of play? I need you to frame that in terms of how do you want me to word it? Does it have a name? Is it called Tiki Taka or something? No, I don't know. You got to frame that better. I can't answer it. We can't blemish over things that Ruben is doing. It's the same thing. The previous manager got criticized for we are not 15th. I don't care what anybody thinks. We are just that bad. He is making us look it. Then what's your solution? What's your solution to this, Josh? I can understand you feel that way. You see it differently from me, and I respect that. But let's not argue over our points of view. Let's discuss solutions. Because we could all sit here and you all know my stance. And there's nothing you guys can say that will change my stance unless I'm provided with a solution that I think is better than sticking with what we got. So I think as United fans now, we have to stop arguing over, well, I think this is right, and I think this is right, and I think that's wrong, and this is great. We've done that till we're blue in the face, haven't we? Provide me with solutions to change my mind. Because you want to change. I don't. So the onus is on the people that want change to come up with a solution that will make us better. And if I think it's better, I'll change my mind. I'm not married to the ideas of what we're doing. I just can't think of a better solution than just riding through the pain. I got solutions, but $9 isn't enough. I hear you. It's so disingenuous to just say it's shocking that we are this bad without the context of how we have been financially crippled and poorly staffed. I saw Sky Sports today talking about what Ineos should be doing is paying the debts off. And I wanted to scream because United fans are going, at last, the media's talking about it. Well, the media left out that they can't just pay the fucking debts off to fix PSR. They haven't even told us the truth. It's as dumb as people believing net spend is real. It's so infuriating. It's so infuriating. It really is. Sporting is a Mickey Mouse legend. Stop it, Terry. Okay, so cool. If we're just going to discount what he's done in Portugal, then yeah, he's done nothing. If that's what you want to say, then I'll leave it there. Cool. Brilliant. I don't blame my manager. I blame Ineos. No signings. I think that's a part of why we haven't improved as quickly as we would have liked. But yes, fair dudes. Look, I'm going to bring the panel out now to have their say. We've got Kate, we've got Jords, we've got KJ, and KJ looks fucking miserable. He's still got his pajamas on. We've got Judge Mo coming on as well. But listen, hit the like button for us if you haven't done so already. Make sure you are subscribing. Everyone is about to come out now. Welcome. Congrats to Jords and to Kate. Well done on picking up the win today. And I'm actually going to start with the victors. Jords, how do you think Spurs did today? What was the difference in your eyes between the two teams?
We won the game. That's all it is. We won the game, and that's the difference. We got the job done. And to be honest, we all expected it. It's only Manchester United, eh? 3 wins this season. It's a bit easy. Two games in the Premier League with no goals conceded against you guys. What's that? 4-0. I mean, we've unbeaten in 6 against Manchester United now. Like, it's just a bit easy now, man. I'm feeling a bit used to this one. I'm feeling a bit used to this conversation between us, Terry. Like, you guys don't really have much to offer. I'd love to get onto the manager, Ruben spammer him and all. And eight losses. He's 4 wins, 8 losses. It's double the amount. Like, are we gonna start having a conversation about it? Because wait. I'll
stop you. I'm gonna stop you. Just have the conversation and give your opinion on him. You don't have to ask Man United fans to ask if you can talk about it. Say how good or bad you think he is, and what will happen. Stop sitting on the fence and doing the Don. Give your opinion. Give your opinion.
Oh, no, look. See, look, I've already got him, guys. You seen this? I've got him.
No, do you know what it is? It's not about getting me. It's about people do this all the time about all clubs. They go, soon we've got to have a conversation. None of this soon have a conversation and give innuendo. Just give a man's point. Get straight to it. Be a man. Get your bollocks out and give your opinion.
But I was getting onto it. And you know what? I was there. It's right. Fishing. That's what you're right. I am fishing. I'm fishing for exactly that. To get these reactions out of you Manchester United fans, because you are hurting. A lot of Manchester United fans don't like to admit that they're hurting right now. They go, I expected to lose. We didn't have enough players out and all these injuries and so on. But when we've had injuries and every other team, you can't really talk about it. So we don't want to hear about it today. We've done the business. I think James Maddison had a decent performance. I think you guys had a few chances, but I don't want to hear about the explained chances because when Shirley Carter's on the wing, you don't really expect too much. How many chances does he miss? He's got one away goal all season. That it's not like it's a new thing. So when Xerxes up front, not really doing too much. Hoyland out here trying to catch a dance off man them constantly, backing it up, but not really doing anything in front of goal. You can't be surprised. I know you guys have a bad team, but the manager, again, for me, just has to, just like I've put it onto Ange as well and say, look, despite the injuries, it's not enough sometimes. The injuries can't excuse what you're putting out there. Coach is coaching. You need to figure out a situation.
So on Ruben Amorim then. So on Ruben Amorim, do you think that will you answer these questions fully, or will you beat about the bush?
What do you mean? Will I be? But this is your manager. For me,
no.
I don't have
no. Stop, George. You've come on to make a point about, but you won't answer the question
about my team and my manager.
Let me just say this now to the viewers. I am not rattled. I will promise the viewers this. I am not rattled about anything anyone on this panel has to say about Amorim. What I am rattled about is this bullshit beating about the bush, sitting on the fence talk of we need to have conversations, but then no one makes a direct
Manager's
point.
Not doing his job,
Jords, please stop and let me ask you the questions, but please answer them directly. Do you think Ruben is a bust at Man United and should be sacked? Yes or no?
Is he a bust? He's a bust so far. He is a bust so far. That's a fact. He's lost double the amount of games that he's lost. Do I think he's a bad manager? No, I've never said that. That's what I mean. I don't think he's a bad manager. But he is a bust at Manchester United so far. As I said, Crystal Palace thanked Frank de Boer for a lot. He lost 7 games. He got sacked. He's won 4 and lost 8. Like this is unheard of. And a manager just continued to get a chance and just, everyone's getting the squad's bad.
Let me ask you a question. What's more important for me to hear is the next question. So you think he's a bust so far, but you think he's a good manager. Why hasn't it worked in your opinion?
He's a bad manager.
Okay, sorry. Hang on. So you think he's, so if you don't think he's a bad, do you think he's a good manager then? I'm trying to understand how good or bad
he's only been at Sporting and these other teams. I need to see him at this level to really have a good
so you're saying he's not bad, but where do you put him on the scale then? What is he?
He's a decent manager. He's up and coming.
So he's a decent manager, but he's a bust so far at United. What do you think has led to that?
What has led to that? I mean, again, many a thing, but at the same time, there's been injuries. There's been, him freezing out players. He throws out Garnacho to bring him back in and now rely on this guy to lead his attack. I mean, that's a bad decision already. He throws out Rashford when he could have used him for all that time, put him on the market, so he maybe got a bigger move and maybe got more money, but no, throws him out of the squad, and then they sold him in the last few days of the window. And he's probably going to now look better at Aston Villa. We'll see about that. But again, bad decisions made by him, and now bad decisions with regards to this team. The formation's not working in particular. I know Manchester United have been a bit more defensively. They've been a bit better recently, not conceding as many goals, but you still open up a lot of chances. We know the way to play against Manchester United, high press, and they're going to make mistakes. Similar to Chelsea, the defenders make so many mistakes, and probably our team as well. So when you press them really high, you see in the Liverpool game against us especially, they make so many mistakes. It's so easy to play against. So yes, the players aren't great, but the manager needs to work with what he's got and find solutions. He's not finding those solutions. I've not seen Manchester United play good football under his whole tenure. I've never looked at them and said.
I hear all that. So what's the solution? What should Man United do? What should he do to make us better, in your opinion, Jords?
What should he do to make you better?
Yeah, what are the solutions?
He's supposed to find the solutions. I don't rate your players.
You're saying what he's doing wrong. What can he do to make it better, in your opinion? What can he change?
I don't rate your players. He needs to find those solutions from those players.
Yes,
I don't look at them.
Yes, but you're calling out his mistakes, the things he's doing wrong. So what are the things that he should do right to make this improve?
What are you getting at exactly? What do you want to hear?
Well, you've come here and given an example that the way he treated Garnacho is a mistake, and it's a reason why it's gone wrong. You said at the beginning that there's loads of mistakes that he's made. So you've noticed the actions that Ruben Amorim has taken that have made us bad. What action should he take? Whether it be formations, whether it be players that should start. What should he do to make us better?
But that's for the coach to figure out. Terry, as much as I can give my opinion, say do this, do that, whatever I say for him to figure out with him, like you're smiling like you can figure out, we can figure. No, that's his job. That's what he gets paid millions to do. I don't get paid millions to sit there, analyze Manchester United and be like, go into the 4-3-3 because I think Xerxes is going to come into the half space. I don't care about all of that. That's Amorim's job. That is Amorim's job. My job right now is what I'm doing as a fan is I'll analyze the game for where it is and give you my opinion on the game.
Yeah,
what I see. I'm asking your opinion. I'm very bad Manchester United.
Exactly.
I'm analyzing what I see.
Exactly. You're analyzing the game and you're giving an opinion. So I'm asking you to analyze the game and give an opinion on what would make Man United better.
But again, I don't look at that team and I don't think it presents so many solutions to me. But he's a coach who again, he gets paid millions. He's a much better coach or got a better eye for football than I do. So he should be able to figure that out. I don't get what the point is.
Yeah, no. So what solutions do you think there are? I mean, you've said that he's got to find them. Do you think that any exist? Do you think this team is good enough to be much better than this? And how do you find that?
Again, do I think this team? I think this team's there or thereabouts. They probably are going to. You will finish in the place you are, 15th or 14th. I don't think Manchester United are going to.
So you think that's about how good the squad is?
Well, right now, 100%. But he should, again, his job is to get the better out of players. That's what coaches do. I question my own manager for not getting the best out of the players that are there. You need to coach.
Yeah,
Coaches coach.
That.
When I look at like,
I've heard you when it comes to Tottenham. I hear you say things like, do this with more, do this, play this player, drop this person, bring this person in. You present solutions.
Terry, I don't watch Manchester United every single week. I don't watch you guys every single week. I don't, again, from what I've seen of you guys. Of course, I'm not sitting there.
So why did you say I haven't seen United play good football in a while? The issue is right now that you're just caught in a corner and you have no answer. You just wanted to say something. Staffy, you don't have anything to back it up with.
We know.
You just want to say the players are not good. I rate the manager, but he needs to get something out of them. But the players are not good. But I also don't know the solution. But I can tell you what the issue is.
I said all of that.
No, I know. I'm repeating what you said. You spoke about something that you don't have any argument to. You just wanted to say it. Like, okay, explain to me, please. Explain to me why Garnacho didn't finish his 1-on-1 today.
What?
Why did Garnacho not finish his 1-on-1 today?
Oh, wait, again, Staffy, you joined late.
No, but just answer that. I just want a simple answer for that.
Mo, did I not address all of this? What are we doing here? Like,
no, but okay,
you're telling me why because
just answer the question. Just answer the question. I think a simple answer.
What manager needs to be on the sideline today for that player to finish his 1-on-1?
Hold on, George. It's a very simple answer. You already answered the question.
Why did Garnacho's rubbish? That's right. Garnacho's rubbish. He always misses.
It's a simple answer. It's a very simple answer.
I know, but he's doing this like, oh, you didn't say this. I addressed all of this. Why did Garnacho miss chances? Because he's rubbish. Why did Højlund not put himself into good positions to receive the ball and do anything good with it? Because he's rubbish.
Okay, why did you also said he needs to get the best out of these players?
Why does Xerxes outside the box do everything decent, and then when he gets in the box, he doesn't have a clue what he's doing because he's done it all season?
Do you know what, George? Hold
on. So you say all this. 1 second, Terry, please. You say all this, but you say it's his job to get the best out of these players. Today, he got these players to at least create 2 big chances, more than what you did, and we didn't score them. I cannot act surprised when I see this. Okay, I saw us create 2 big chances, and we didn't score them. That is not a surprise to me. What surprises me that people will watch the game and see this and say, "Oh, you know what? That was on the manager. Who needed to?" So if you're telling me Pep was on the pitch on the sideline today,
was on the manager.
He would have scored these chances.
Asking questions of the manager because of his record at Manchester United across this period of time. Didn't listen again, Staffy. Again, you can't just jump into a conversation halfway through, assume what's been said.
No, I heard what you said. I
didn't though because
I did. You said he's been a bust. I heard you. I was in the background.
But I didn't.
He's been a bust because of his record.
The result was his fault.
I know, but he's correct. He's correct.
No, he's not wrong when he says his record is a bust. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
But the reasons, when you look at the reasons, no, that statement by itself is not wrong. Of course, anyone with 4 wins in how many games? That is not good.
He won 5 in 16 games in the league, bro. This is
Mo, that is not. There's no disagreement on that. Anyone would lie about that. They're just lying on themselves.
Guys, sorry, let me just jump back in here. So again, there's nothing you're saying that is factually incorrect. The record in terms of losses, wins, and defeats in the Premier League so far has been really poor. Again, Mo, I'm going to ask you this question. What do you think the solution is, short term and medium term? Is it stick with the manager? Is it change his style? Is it sack him? What should Man United do to make it better? Because we all know it's bad. I want to talk about solutions. What's the solution?
I have an answer. I have a similar answer. I thought Amorim would be similar to an Antonio Conte figure, a Thomas Tuchel figure. It doesn't look like it from his record, from the way he manages the team. I think he's a good coach, as Jords is saying. Maybe the job is bigger than him. Maybe the rot at Man United is way bigger than a young manager like him. Maybe you needed a bigger name to actually change the mentality of these players.
What manager would take on this job and succeed?
Okay, so hold on.
Squad is out, and the other half
jumping the gun. You're rattled for no reason. Just calm down.
Rattled, bro. I just want us to be rational about what we say.
Calm down. I am trying to give an answer. You can debate my answer. Calm down.
I get why you guys are angry.
Calm down. Me and Terry have been speaking for a while about Man United.
I've got to interject to say something, Jords. You're a Tottenham fan. You have never in your life
been here. I've been here a few weeks ago. I know how you guys feel. I generally do.
You have never been where Man United are in your lifetime, bruv. Ever.
No, right now, I've been here a few weeks ago.
You don't know.
After we lost the Villa, I was telling everyone, don't message me because I will say something.
Man United, you never will be.
You guys are hurt right now.
All right, okay. So the problem is that I think that
nice trophy.
The damage is so big at Man United throughout the last 12 years since Alex Ferguson left that I think it needs someone to steer the ship. And I believe that Ineos is not like the Glazers or Daniel Levy. This is why maybe Antonio Conte and Mourinho didn't work at Spurs, because Daniel Levy is an absolute fraud. I believe that Ineos want to win. I believe Ineos have the intentions to win, but I think they need someone to change the mentality of these players. Are these players good? No, but I still believe that these players are not 15th in the league and they're not 5 wins from 16 games. I believe the record could have been better. I believe the record could have been a little bit, maybe 8 wins, half the games wins. But it is down to the manager, but also down to the tactics and also the players' mentality.
At first, you used to say it's mentality. Now it's down to the players and the tactics. I asked everyone a simple question, and I just answered the question. Why did we not convert our chances? Let me ask you another question.
Yeah, go. No. I need one question. I need one question from you to answer it. I need one question from you. I need one question from you. Go ahead.
Oh, you want one question? Okay. I asked one question at a time. I didn't get an answer. Another question. Everyone was talking about how we need to swap the wing backs. All right. I said we need to, but that's not the only fix. We're way too bad to just be one fix away from winning a game.
Absolutely.
You get the left-footed wing back, Dorgu. I can't tell you how many times I counted today where he makes a good run. No one is with him. He gets a simple pass and he'll square that ball in the box. I can't tell if we'll score or not, but it is the right thing to do. And you'll be creating more chances because you finally got someone left-footed on the left. Every time he makes that run, he got ignored about 70% of the time. And then you got Dello on the right. Every time he gets the ball, and everyone told me if Dello plays on the right, it'll be better. He brings it back to his left, even though he's not left-footed, and he makes a pass back instead of crossing the ball in. What kind of manager is going to fix that? Please explain that to me.
There are a lot of managers that will give players clear instructions. And I actually came to this match reaction, and I was telling you actually in your watch along that I don't think Man United were that bad today at all. You were better than other games. You created chances. I thought you moved the ball well. I thought Bruno Fernandes created some chances. He's playing deep. That's not his position. And that is on the game. I thought that you weren't as bad as I expected you to be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I thought you were a better team on the pitch today in terms of creating chances and movement and everything. I thought you were a better coach today than Tottenham Hotspur. But the problem is, again, someone like Garnacho, you cannot tell me that a professional player like Garnacho, who finished many of these chances before, have missed that chance. You can't tell me that Bruno Fernandes would have missed a shot that is obvious in front of him. There are a lot of chances that Man United created today, right? That he could have won the game, and that is down to the tactics and the manager. But something is broken at Man United, and let me finish that last point, please.
Yeah. I was wondering.
That last point is you cannot tell me, Staffy, that after all of these players, they are professional footballers, that they're that bad. There has to be something else, and the solution might be. Go ahead.
And Mo, I wanted to jump in on that, Mo, because this is where you're on something right. We know we need better quality football players. The reason why Garnacho missed that chance in front of goal, some will say it's because he's rubbish. And I get there's banter in that. I feel like that's an oversimplification and a very reductionist approach. What's rubbish about Garnacho right now? He can't handle the pressure of knowing that if he doesn't perform at Man United, he's being sold. These players are struggling under the pressure that's being put upon them to deliver. And we've fallen down in the league. And I'll keep the same energy when I spoke about Spurs. If they stick with big hands, they could get dragged into a relegation battle. Chelsea, when they were down, they found it hard to get out because no one signs to Tottenham, no one signs to Man United, no one signs to Chelsea with the thought process and the preparation that they may be in some type of relegation battle. You don't go into it and you don't mentally prepare yourself for that. That's what we're going through right now. And for me, I understand all the criticism people give to Ruben, but the reason why I throw it back and go, I want to hear solutions. And the reason why I'm annoyed, it's nothing to do with losing today. It's the same as when people speak to me about Ineos. Oh, well, they've got to go. I'm sick and tired of the low-hanging fruit. Oh, they've got to go. Great. I know that people want them out. What's the solution? When most people tell me what the Ineos have got to do to fix the club, they suggest things that are not allowed in the game. They suggest things that they're not allowed to do. So I sit there and go, I don't want to hear from people that don't have solutions on it because it's a boring conversation going over the same thing. United crap, sack manager, maybe the next one works. I'm bored of it, and I am triggered by it. So I want to hear solutions. And for me, the mental issues at the club are a massive problem right now. And some will say, well, Amorim's got to work this out and find out who the players are that can handle it. The big question is, who are these guys? Who do we go to now? And the one thing I criticize him on today is that he didn't give the kids more of a chance. I felt 20 minutes to go, maybe 15 minutes to go, throw a few of them on and see what they can do. They can often surprise you in these moments. And I'd love to have seen it because I don't think they come on with any anxiety. I don't think young Obi comes on panicked, stressed, worried. He's going to go out there and have the time of his life for 15, 20 minutes. And the nervousness at the back for Spurs, he could have capitalized on that. The biggest reason being, no Spurs player knows anything about him, really. So those are the things I would criticize. That's how I think we fix the mentality by taking a few chances with some of these youngsters now between now and the end of the season. That's what I would personally do because there's no other options in terms of senior players. They're all now out injured. So you're not going to change their mentality.
But Terry, when you talk about Garnacho, just really quickly, because we are being just like fallacious. When we're just going out there, we're just saying, yeah, he's rubbish. But okay, if you want to talk actual ball, his finishing's always been a problem. Whenever you see him strike the ball, he never strikes the ball good. I look at a lot of Manchester United players and forwards throughout the years that haven't been good ball strikers. I think you don't have good coaches around that team. Rashford could never strike the ball really good. And Garnacho, throughout his whole time, he seems... Rashford only
strike a ball.
His finishing was never good. He would strike the ball, but he never finish it. He can never curl the ball. He can never choose the corner. He's just hitting as hard as he can. So when I think Garnacho needs coaching to help his finishing get better because you always expect him to miss his chance. When he had that chance,
so he's not rubbish. Then he's badly coached.
Well, I think that means he's a rubbish player.
No, again, but I think there's a distinction between
I'm a young rubbish player, so I'd give him grace and say he needs a
distinction, Jords. There's a distinction. I'm a rubbish football player. You can't coach me to be better. Is Garnacho rubbish and that's it? Or is you rubbish? Or hang on, let me finish so you understand what I'm saying. Or is you rubbish because Amorim's coaching him badly?
No, I think all young players, I give a lot of young players grace because they all can be coached until I'd say around 24, 25. That's when you are who you are at that age. You're not really going to get much better and you'd need an elite coach to really take you to the next level. But again, he's young. He can get better if he has a very good... If he went to Napoli, I think he would have been great coach under Antonio Conte. He knows how to get the best out of attackers.
George, would that... KJ, 1 second. Pep didn't even teach Sterling how to strike a ball. And we're going to sit here and say...
He made him a good player. He made him a good player. He scored a 20
He didn't teach him how to strike a ball. What are we even doing here?
What is this? Because he's at Napoli and Conte is a better coach and he gets better, getting better coach.
He is a better coach.
No. Let me finish. Garnacho being a better, say, finisher, would it just be down to, new coach, better coaching, he can score loads of goals? Or is it also him mentally, the weight of the club, the league that you're in, the amount of chances that you get to make mistakes?
I agree, because we would all say Conte is a better coach than Poch, but most of Spurs' players that played under Poch look worse under Conte than they did Poch.
No, not necessarily. If you watch Conte in his first season, he managed to get like the best out of the likes of Dyer, Davies, Lloris,
and then they went back
really good for an extended period of time. But because they are old players, naturally you can't take them beyond their peak. He made them perform above their level for a good season. Amorim's not doing that. He's not making any of these players.
You can say that. You listen, and I understand that. I don't necessarily think it's Amorim's coaching. I think this is a lot to do with the pressures of being at Manchester United. Personally, I really, really do, because we saw Rashford have like one training session and look amazing when he came on against you guys last week against Aston Villa. And I don't believe one training session or two training sessions with Amorim and suddenly Rashford is back to his absolute peak. As good, not Amorim, Unai Emery. We all know that Manuel Pellegrini is a decent manager. Did well at City, but then he was a bust at West Ham. He's managing Antony, who's just had 2 La Liga Man of the Matches back to back. Is that because Manuel Pellegrini is a brilliant manager and a brilliant coach, or is that just because the shackles feel removed and the player feels a change is as good as a rest? I don't think it's as simple as just better coaching. I think there is part of that in there as well. I want to go to Kate. Kate's not spoken yet. Kate, what did you make of Tottenham today in your performance?
I can't believe, I've just got to put it out there and say, Jords, I can't believe you're coming with all this energy when we're sitting in 12th place. We're playing absolutely shite. We've had the most diabolical season.
You know me enough by now. Come on.
Come on. You've got to be a little bit humble. You know, we scraped the win. I thought we deserved the win, but it still was a battle. The stats are very sort of similar. We were clinical. I thought Maddison made the difference today. Everyone's telling me to cook, but I'm not cooking anyone because I know what it's like. We're having a terrible season. I can't sit here and give it to Manchester United. They've been bad, but they've got 2 trophies in the last 2 seasons, and they're still in more cups than we are. I think you are. But anyway, look, we got the win. We did what we had to do. I thought Spence is turning into an absolutely fantastic little player. I always thought he would, and I think he was excellent today. Madder's very good in the first half. Bergvale good in the first half. I saw Jerome call out Tell. He's 19 years old and he's hardly had any football. And he's comparing him to Solanke, who's 27. Give the guy a break. Come on. You know, he's got to bed into the team. I really think this kid's got potential. I really like the look of him.
I agree with Kate. I thought he was a bit of a menace today. His finishing was a little off, but overall, I thought he was a danger today.
Exactly. So I think if we had Solanke today, I think we would have won comfortably, to be perfectly honest, because I think Man United looked a bit all over the place. But then you could look at it the other way. You missed some chances as well. So it's just one of them games. I'm glad we won. You know, we've moved to the heavy heights of 12th and you've gone down to 15th. It's not really anything to scream and shout and be that happy about, but we needed a win. The fan base needed it. And the protest, by all accounts, was a huge success as well. So all in all, it was a good day for Spurs. Yeah, I'm not going to give it.
I saw some videos actually from the protest, and a much bigger group of people turned out, and fair play to them. And look, I think Spurs fans should celebrate the win. You know, I think they should. And this isn't even a dig. You know, you've beaten Man United 3 times in one season. Genuinely, I don't even know if my dad was alive the last time that happened, and he was born in 1955.
Well, the last time we did a league double over you was 89-90 season.
Exactly. So Jords weren't balls. I get why Jords is loving it today, because this is one of the biggest achievements he's seen Tottenham ever. And I mean it. You've beaten the most.
I'm beating in 6, Terry. I'm being in 6. You haven't beat us for a few seasons. That's right. I know.
No, I agree. I agree. But
I think ever since we've been streaming, you've only beat us like once. It's tough, man. You're used to this energy from me. I know.
We have, and we won 2 trophies in that time, and you won nothing. But that's the reason why I know it means so much to you. As you say, like, you beating us in games is massive, and I understand. And that's not even a dig. It's huge. You know, it was the same as Leyton Orient. That's why they were celebrating after losing to City, because smaller clubs, when they get near or they beat bigger clubs, they go mad for it, mate. I get it. I really do. Let's do some of these super chats here about the game. This here from Jerome says, we lost 11 games when we finished 4th under Conte and shipped 60 plus goals.
Lost 5.
The players looked worse under Conte, is what Jerome says.
So Jerome, Angie's better than Angie's better coach than Conte. That's what Jerome is saying.
Arteta started pragmatic and turned it around. Well, everyone says he's quite pragmatic now, so I don't know. I hear your point. Welcome to the actual rebuild solution. Drop Rasmus, get healthy, make it to the summer, sign players that aren't punk bitches, have a preseason. Listen, I agree with you, Canadian Cam. I actually understand the criticism of what Amorim's, the things that have gone wrong. I think people are just ignoring the circumstances that we are in right now, and it's painful. United 4 points off fourth before Amorim joined with a freedom. Again, you've still not provided a solution. And the reason why a lot of you don't want to give your solutions is because you're scared of the criticism that your solution may get. Maybe the manager you suggest, maybe the formation or the players you design. It's a lot easier just to throw. I call it spaghetti throwing. I'm going to throw a lot of spaghetti at the wall and see if something sticks, as opposed to give an actual fully formulated opinion. Because it's a lot harder. Fair play to Jords. At least he did it. Jords did show the hypocrisy of energy shown when discussing different teams on here. I get it. Terry supports United, but it's funny to see. Well, I can take it off Jords. I'm just giving it back at the same time. It's just the way it is. What I will say with Jords, it's nice to see him on here after a Spurs game, because normally you can't find him for love nor money.
That's not true. I'll come on here after a loss a few weeks ago. A few losses.
But you've lost 20 odd games this season. We've seen you once. I hear you, mate. No, it's all good fun. And we get heated sometimes, but that's the way it is. If you can't handle the kitchen, can't handle the heat, fuck off. Terry, you make similar statements when it's Chelsea, but you get aggressive to pick. Well, I wasn't aggressive. It's two mates having a heated conversation.
The United fan.
George, I'm sorry I was aggressive, brother. Are you okay?
Terry,
you see me laughing, people. Come on.
This proves that you're not an Arsenal fan or a Chelsea fan or a Liverpool fan, because your energy is clearly different from Man United.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. The difference is as well, though, my friend. Of course, I've got a different feeling when it comes to my club. But you guys have sometimes seen me get angry on a lot of panel shows before and podcasts. And do you know what a lot of it is? And I tell and Mo will back this and Staffy, if you do straight facts, a lot of the time it isn't people's answers per se. It's like, this is for me, I look at it as such a reductive conversation. It's like, let's all say Rashford shit. It's like, that's just so boring to me. That's like the Sun newspaper. I want to know why, what the solutions are, who's a better replacement, where could he go? I want to get into the detail of the matter. That's what I'm more angry at than just sack the manager. I don't want to hear sack the manager. I want to hear why, what the solution is, who should come in, what should the formation be, how do we progress, will that work, do we have the money for it? That's a conversation. I hope that makes sense. George shouldn't be allowed on when Spurs win. Never shows up. No, he has been on when they lose. He has been on when they lose. 100%. I'll back George on that. And he talks with chest. He always does it with Man United. We're his cup final, mate. Us and Arsenal. Finishing above Arsenal and beating Man United, George would demand a parade. It's as simple as that. Could have been 4-0 either way. Main focus for me personally was the protest and the sheer number of people that brought into getting the pricks out. Listen, I agree with both parts of that. It really could have gone either way in that regard. Amorim was given an ultimatum: join now or never. He has not been assisted by the club management in January. One signing, crap players still in the team. Do you think this KJ is a fair piece of protection for Amorim?
Yes and no. I'll say the no first in terms of look, he needs to be braver in his changes. Like I was very disappointed that some of the young players did not get a game.
You really wanted the kids to be playing today, KJ?
Just for the facts that one, we're not playing for anything in the league besides surviving relegation. So I'd rather the young players given 15, 10 minutes just to see what they can do, see if they can adapt to the system and play with the senior players. Plus, you're telling me Casemiro needed those extra 10 minutes, 15 minutes that he was on the pitch for. He didn't need that, bruv. Like, you could see he was dying.
He almost scored at the end, to be honest, to Amorim. He almost scored at the end, bro.
Everyone almost scored today and we didn't. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think you need to do that. But in terms of what he's come into, I sit there and look. It's like, if you give Amorim Spurs a squad and give Ange Man United squad, who wins this game today?
You're assuming. That's a big assumption.
No. It's going to be Amorim. You know why?
Just doing ifs, buts, and maybes.
Let me finish what I'm saying, man. Shut up, man. My head is gone. Everyone shut. Flipping hell.
Imagine losing your head on this stream, bro. What are you doing?
Listen, the reason why I say that is because Spurs, I don't care what anyone says about Spurs as an entity, as a club. Their squad is better than Man United's. Their squad has more synergy than Man United's. So put Amorim in a squad that has synergy with players and profiles that actually work together. Guess what? He will probably win this game. The reason why Man United are one of the biggest reasons why we're in the position that we're in, because this squad is a load of ass put together in a bag. That's what it is. and none of the profiles fit each other. None of the profiles work. And you know what's funny? One of our best players today is Dorgu. Why is that? Because his profile fits what the manager wants to do. One of the only players whose profile fits the manager wants to do. And oh, Lord beholds, he doesn't look too bad because he can do what we're asking for. It's on the club for bringing this man in before a new season. It's the club's fault for sticking with Ten Hag and not bringing him in the summer if this was their guy that they really wanted. That you can't blame him, Amorim. You can blame some of the tactical things that he's doing wrong. You can blame some of the selections that he's doing wrong. Fine. You know what? Screw it. I don't care. If you want him sacked, cool. I don't care at this point because the same people want him sacked also say in your sock and therefore think they're gonna fail anyway. So it doesn't matter who we have. People are just gonna be mad and complain. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I think we need to literally get to the summer, sell who we can sell, and bring in better profiles that fit together. Because I guarantee you, Spurs' squad, Amorim with Spurs' squad finishes better than Man United anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing about sacking the manager for me. A lot of the people that want the manager gone also think the club's run badly, even with Ineos here, which I get. So I don't see the point of going on to an 8th manager. If Ineos are truly Glazer 2.0, why are we going on to an 8th manager? I would rather... This is what Amorim said after the game. He said the difference between the game is they scored and we didn't, and we had the opportunities. I'm not worried about my future. I hate to lose. That feeling is the worst than being sacked. But I am confident on my work and just want to win games. I have a lot of problems. My job here is so hard, but I stick to my beliefs. And the reason I'm backing it, and I don't care whether this sounds delusional or not, is the previous 3 or 4 managers didn't stick to their beliefs. They succumbed to them. They adapted to the players, and we didn't progress. The only reason that we've fallen this low now is because for the first time, we have someone who is sticking to their principles, is going through the hard times, but it's after 5 previous failures, a Frankenstein squad, a club financially broke because of the previous failings. And this is what's mad. People want to go and do... People are doing Woodward revisionism, and they want to go back to what we were doing under him, which has put us in a broke situation with a poor squad that never progresses. So I don't care. If you've got a better solution, then find a manager that's got a belief, stick to his principle, come rain or shine, build a squad over 3 years, and let's see where we are. I can't guarantee it's going to work, but give me a better solution. Give me a better solution than that you think will yield better results. And it can't be bring in a Conte and spend loads of money, because there isn't loads of money. So you cannot spend.
So how in the same breath you're saying that bring him what he wants if you say there's no money?
So again,
can you clarify this, please?
I can clarify it. So we all know for a fact that Antonio Conte doesn't want Dorgu. We all know for a fact that he doesn't want young players. Jed Spence is only starting to play now at Tottenham because Conte sent him away. Jed Spence should have been bled into this Spurs team as soon as he arrived because he's excellent. Conte is not going to want... He doesn't want a Mainu. He doesn't want Mainu. He doesn't want a young player. He wants ready-made established stars. Man United could have gone down that path 7 or 8 years ago with the squad we had and the cash reserves we had. We could have gone, look, we've got Pogba, we've got Zlat, we've got these players. What we'll do is Conte comes in and we'll go out and drop 300 million on 4 ready-made stars to give him. That's what a Conte needs. We can't do that anymore. We don't have the squad for it. We don't have the spine for it. We don't have the money for it. We have got to go a different way. So again, that's the only caveat I put to the solutions to what I've suggested is tell me what else we could do that you think I don't care about. Oh, we might get 10 more points this season because it's actually mad. Look at the first 13 games of all managers. Ollie and Ragnick are the 2 highest in the first 13 games, and they're probably the 2 lowest ranked managers of all. I don't want that knee-jerk kick just to fall off again in a few months. What's the solutions, people? Let me know in the comment section, but I guarantee this is what I get. I bet I get more abuse. I get words like copium and hopium, and I bet I get dug out about being an Arsenal fan, as opposed to anybody actually being able to articulate a challenge to my point. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
I'll ask a genuine question.
Yeah, go on, mate.
Because spoke to KG obviously before the game. You weren't confident. Staffy, I know, like you love Ange, so I'm sure you knew what was going to happen today. Ange was going to school your manager, and then Terry, you're just a smart Manchester United fan. I expect you to know better. You didn't. Most of you guys didn't have confidence today, so why would you like be angry at the loss? Like it was expected. No, I'm being genuine.
I'm not angry at the loss. I'm angry at the loss. I'm okay with the loss. I expected us to lose. You know, this is how you know talk when it comes to Amorim right now, and United is always going to be disingenuous. We just lost arguably our player of the season on an injury till the end of the season, and it wasn't mentioned once. Not a single person gave us an excuse that our best player, who's been bailing us out, you're laughing, but it's true.
Arsenal fans haven't been allowed to mention Saka. They haven't.
But look, nice. I love that you said that. How good are Arsenal and how good are us?
I know.
We've been called a one-man team.
The problem with your club is there. Why are you relying on a 20-year-old to lead you forward? Why?
No, but that's the point. That is the whole point. That is actually the point. I'm happy you said that. How we got here is not what I'm discussing right now. Everyone knows that we are Ahmed FC this season. He gets injured, and not a single person said they lost their best player. And you're trying to compare us to Arsenal. Arsenal, yes, of course, Saka's their best player, but they're a much better team than we are. So you're telling me a team that's already shit, that no one rates, lost the only spark they had this season, and that shouldn't be used as it's going to be called as an excuse. This is why I say there's a lot of imbeciles that speak about football. And this is the only reason, like, I'm not going to lie to you. The only reason I even still go on YouTube is because I just have to fight these imbeciles. And that's the nicest way I could say it. Like, I can't be disrespectful. I'm just going to call them imbeciles. Not a single person will say, you know what? This team is already crap, and they lost their best player, and they didn't sign anyone bar one person. You know what? Maybe there's something more than just me blaming the manager. No one will do that. And no one will do that. Because you know what? It's not fun. It's not fun to come here on the terrace, whether you're on the pen or in the chat, and say that. It's not fun. You know what's fun? To say he's Village Bosch 2.0, to say Ten Hag was better. Those things trend more. Those things stick with people more. Those things generate more engagement. But I'm not going to sit here and say that. And I'm not going to allow some of these crap players to get away again with this job. I really won't. I really won't. I will be here. The day Amorim gets sacked, the day maybe I'll probably stop coming here. I'll be honest with you. Because I will not, another manager. It's not even the idea of Amorim. It's the idea that another manager gets to survive this shit.
And that's the irony in it. It's not even about Amorim for me. I'm detached.
It could have been anyone else. It could have been KJ. It could have been Kate would be our manager right now, and I'll say the same thing.
I'm detached from the point is a lot of the United fans have already turned on him, especially the content creators that are doing it. These are the same people that for 11 years have said, sack manager A and we can win the league. They've been wrong about every single situation. And we all get things wrong, and that isn't the problem. It's their solution is to do the same thing that has led to the continual failures. That's all I'm asking for here. I want to do something different. And there's a super chat here that come in that says, but if Amorim keeps losing, he might get sacked. Yeah, he might. He might. And I still want to continue in the same direction. We've started something, finish it. That's been our biggest problem in 11 years. We start something and we've never finished it. The odds you look better under Rude with some players. Look, and that was a short-term fix. Rude's currently at a point where it looks like, he's gone to Leicester and won one game since he's been there. Ironically, against Tottenham, I think that was, which is just crazy in the context of everything. And they're talking about sacking him before the end of the season already. And again, that would have just been papering over cracks. And yes, we could have. This is what's funny. We could have done all that to the end of the season, finished 10th, won no trophies, and then Amorim comes in the summer, and we start this process from then, and we start the new rebuild from then, and we start the season looking how we're looking right now. So and then everyone goes, "Oh my God, should have stuck with Rude anyway." Man United fans are not built for what we've got to go through. They don't even understand what we have to go through on the field of play. It's crazy. Let Kate speak. It's a snooze fest now. That was a bit earlier, but yeah, Kate has obviously spoken. Jerome here says, what I am saying, Mo, is it does not matter who the manager is. The quality of the player that we think is great, they are just average. Excuse me if I believe in Ange the same way Tell believes in Amorim.
I never said that Spurs players are crap, actually, so I disagree with you. Your players are not average. I believe just Ange's system is suited more to a more established team, and Spurs are not established. And I think Daniel Levy is the one that is making your club look like this with the mentality, the structure, the way he gets players and the young players. It's not about Ange's a good coach, and I always said that. Said that he's a good coach. He just needs if Ange tomorrow is coaching Arsenal or coaching Manchester City or Bayern Munich, it would be better. I'm sure they won't be 12th, to be honest. I'm sure they won't be 12th.
I hear that. Blaze here says, Tell, I know you are fine with riding it out, but this is where we disagree. I think next season will then come with massive expectations. He won't deliver, and it's time wasted.
What are the expectations?
Yeah. Well, the expectations from me were that we're much better than we are now. However,
not 15th.
Yeah. However, Blaze, this is where it isn't a waste of time. Let's just say we bring in 3 or 4 brilliant players. We're looking a lot better on the pitch, but we're still not getting over the line. And we go, maybe Amorim is the problem. To a degree, I'm okay with moving on from him. But whatever the project we start, and I'm talking, I don't care about us knowing what the name of it is. We shouldn't know the name of it. It's internal. Whatever the style of football is we're trying to build, and the profile of players that we invest 100 million, 200 million into in the summer, we must continue. The only time it's wasted is when we do what we've done the last 5 managers, where we invest 400 million quid to build whatever they're trying to build, sack it off and then go in a new direction, and then not complete that build, and then not complete that build. I'm talking squad builds here. So yeah, I get the point that Amorim shouldn't be able to survive regardless of his win ratio over a prolonged period of time. What I'm talking about is sticking to a plan. Yes, you might have to change the coach. Yes, you might. Oh, fucking hell. Imagine Pep threw all of his philosophy out the window because the first goalkeeper he bought didn't work. That is a microcosm of what I'm talking about here. You have to stick to what you know and believe, and you keep adding the players to the squad and maybe even change the manager once or twice to build something. Spurs' biggest mistake in the last 8 years wasn't sacking Poch per se. It was going from Poch to Jose. It was a 180 on what they've been building. The players and the profiles are different. Then they started building this squad for pragmatic managers, and then they've gone back to Ange. They should have gone straight from a Poch to somebody like an Ange, and I think they'd have won something because they were so close. That is more what I'm talking about here than just sacking managers per se and starting all over again. But that's the context a lot of rivals miss about Man United. Terry, if you believe in this process, don't ever bring up the Maresca topic again in your show, please. Well, that's not how it works, because I don't think Maresca should be sacked. But just because I don't think something doesn't mean it won't be a talking point on my shows, because that would be very strange, King Prince. My opinion doesn't dictate what we talk about on the shows. Amorim is a coward, didn't want to lose 3-2 or 3-0, so he decided to make 0 subs until the 90th minute. Get this coward out of my club. What do you make of this, KJ?
I agree that he should have been braver. I want to see some more players, some of the young players come on. I don't know if he was afraid to lose 2 or 3-0. I don't know if that is the angle he was coming from. I think maybe he's more trying to protect the young players, and he maybe just
said
didn't.
That, KJ.
Yeah,
he said after the game. He said the players didn't play at this level before.
Yeah,
so he didn't want to throw them in. He was like, I felt like we were going to score a goal, so I don't want to put pressure on.
Yeah, so he's trying to put the young players, which is fair enough. I don't agree with it fully, but yeah, if you want to sack him, cool. I don't care. Like, that's your opinion. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you want to sack him, what would you do? Who would you bring in? And yeah, thank you. This is what happens when you don't make the big decisions to sack Ten Hag in the summer. Couldn't agree more. The reason we are here on the 16th of February feeling this way is because we made that mistake in the summer by keeping Ten Hag. And it's funny how people always want to call me out for like back-in processes or doing this and doing that. But this was my biggest fear. The one thing I got massively wrong is I didn't realize that changing a style so dramatically during a season would impact us this bad. I knew it'd be up and down. I didn't think it would be this bad, but you're absolutely right. That mistake is why I've called Ineos out for it. It was a horrendous mistake that we made. Grant says, stay with Amorim. He has a style. Now you can create profiles for that style or find them and then acquire players that fit those profiles. Sorry, I get what you mean. Create the kind of players that what you need and then go and buy them. No, I agree. We do need to do that. We've just not done that in 11 years, and that's been our biggest problem. So top 4 isn't an expectation for next season.
But you said massive. You said massive as in huge, as in like, oh, if he doesn't win the league, then that's the expectation that we got.
Yeah,
Top
I mean,
Blaze hasn't gone over the entitlement of United. Just because our name is Manchester United, it doesn't mean we're going to finish in the top 4. Just get over that fact. I don't know if he's a United fan or not, but
he's a Chelsea fan.
He's a Chelsea. Okay, so he's not even entitled. But this entitlement that comes from United fans, that because our name is Manchester United and we used to win leagues 11 years ago, that does not mean that we're a top 4 team now. Use your eyes, please. Use your eyes and use the data. Everything suggests that this team is poor, and we see it week after week and game after game, and you still come here and we act surprised every time. Stop being surprised. We're just not good. We're not going to be in the top 4 next year. We're just not. Chelsea, fucking, what's their name? City are struggling to be in the top 4 this year. Look how good they are. And you think I can build a squad to be top 4 next year? Please, brother.
Yeah, and in terms of expectations, let's wait and see what happens. Let's see who we sign. Let's see what other clubs do. There's only a handful of teams who I think we could already pre-predict next season's expectations. Arsenal probably. Even Liverpool's are hard to do. We don't know what's happening with their 3 stars. But genuinely, I think the genuine expectations on what they should do depend on what happened with those 3 players. The only 2 that I can give a real genuine feeling of title race and stuff next year is City and Arsenal. They're the only 2 I look at right now where I go, that's a genuine expectation for them next year. Probably Liverpool as well. But they lose those 3 players and then don't replace them. The expectation changes. So it's very difficult for everybody else because we don't know what our clubs are going to do. So it makes it harder to give those predictions, I think. Mo, you are a smart guy for asking, play the kids.
I think because he questioned me when I asked if I wanted.
Yeah, I think playing the kids. I think playing the kids was again. I get what Amorim's saying. I would have just given OB 10 more minutes, maybe. Just give him 10 more minutes and see what he can do up there. Protecting the players is a cop out. Tell me a young player that doesn't want to play away at Tottenham. Fortune favors the brave. Coward.
Well, if you had played the young players and we had lost 4-0, you then would call him a coward for a scapegoat in the young players. So UFC, you just want him gone, and that's fair. I get that. It's just.
I think it's like you said, it's a fair point to make either way because look, Tottenham had a lot of young players out, and sometimes you've seen some young players perform out of the skin when they, like say, relish these moments. A player like Chido Obi, who's a top prospect. Sometimes you do have to just throw them in there because what is Højlund offering? Like I said, maybe a 10 or 15 minutes. I don't think if he come on for 10 or 15 minutes, it would have hurt his confidence if he wasn't great. It wouldn't have hurt no one's confidence. But I understand why Amorim didn't also.
Yeah, and I think we have to broaden this as well because City have had bad injury problems. Pep didn't turn to his kids. Not really at any point. So
he did get a debut for him at centre back when he didn't have no one.
Yes, yeah, and he had a bad game, and then everyone's like, "Don't play him again." So this is the thing I would say. I wouldn't sack a manager because he hasn't done it. I don't necessarily think he's a coward. City have seldom used their youngsters to fill the holes in their team over this 4-month period. I'll say Amorim's wrong for not playing some of them longer today. The same as I've said that I think Pep was wrong for not fielding some of his youngsters. So I keep the same energy, but I don't think either of them are cowards for doing it personally. I would say if the injury is consistent, and these kids are always on the bench, and we go 4, 5, 6, 7 games, and they're not coming on and they're not starting, that's when I'd have more of a problem with it because there comes a point where you've got to give them a go. Question for Mo. I'm going to throw this to Kate. But Kate, have Man United fans lowered their standards?
I hate all this lowering your standards business. Look, I just think it's a lot like Chelsea, right? You've got to accept where you are and that you're in a rebuild. I think sacking the manager at this stage, utter nonsense. I mean, Andrew's had 18 months and a lot of people are screaming to sack him. But look, I don't think it's a case of lowering standards. I don't like that because people say that if you accept this at Spurs, you've lowered your standards. I don't care if my standards are up here or down there. Ain't going to make no difference to my club. So I just think sometimes, I don't think it is an excuse, Rumble, or rebuild. I think you are in a rebuild. It's as easy as that. You've never been the same since Fergie left. Your players aren't as good as you need. You remind me of the situation we're in as well. But what's sacking a manager going to do? I just don't think that's the answer. I think you've got to back this guy Give him time
Hey,
and bring in the
Jords.
players he wants.
Hey George, you got daughters, right? You got daughters.
Yeah.
When they're younger and learning how to count to 1 to 10, were you screaming at them because they couldn't count to 20 because your standards were that high? Would that have helped them to count to 10?
They're babies. These are big men that get paid.
No. The process is still the same.
From your 18 years of age, you're an adult.
These men are not
so-
counting to 10. That's not what you really mean. Playing football is a big job still.
Yeah, it's a big job. But what I'm saying is, it's
the
like,
logic is there though. The logic is it takes at all times in life. Well, when you start your new job, say a better thing is you start a new job. You're 18, you're a big man, you start a new job. Imagine on day one, they're like, "You ain't at the same level as someone who's been here 10 years." Well, it's only my first day, but I've got standards. Yeah, there are times where it's crazy. And Man United fans, it's never about lowering standards either. This is the crazy part of this conversation, Kate. I haven't lowered my standards of wanting to win Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues again. I just know that by me being angry every day that we're not there isn't going to speed that process up. I can shout at a seed in a pot of dirt all I want. I can't make it grow faster. It's impossible. I can't. I can give it the food. I can give it water. I can give it sunlight. I have to be patient with it. Man United are broken in so many ways. The idea that YouTubers screaming into cameras because it means they've got higher standards is going to fix us quicker. Show me the empirical evidence that is true. Show me any evidence that being angry at your club all the time and having the highest standards as if you're Real Madrid fixes your club quicker. Show me the empirical evidence and I'll believe it and I'll change tomorrow. Show me the evidence. Again, no one can because it's an excuse for angry men who ain't happy with their lives to be angry every day online. That is the cold, hard truth of it. At the end of the day, I have the standards and want your club to get there. But the idea that you're going to take out of context where your club is, the game state and the situation that you are in, of course, if this was 2014, I would expect a much quicker turnaround. We were champions a year before. It isn't. It's 2025. No league title race for 12 years. Financial problems, a broken squad, a toxic fan base, and I'm included in that. I'm not I'm angry. I'm frustrated. That is not the same situation that Fergie left. That is not what's going on right now. But the other clubs are continuously successful. We are not them anymore. The idea that we can bring a new manager in, sign a few players, and get back to that level because I've got standards is a nonsense. Show me the empirical evidence, and I will believe it, and I will shout it from the rooftop. I don't want opinion. I don't want a suggestion. I don't want a hypothesis. I want the empirical evidence that will fix Man United quickly. Show me, and I'll change my mind. I want my manager to try everything. I'll have patience. Can I ask you a question, though, straight away on that? You want him to try everything. You can't try everything in one game, though. So you can't try, no matter what you think, you can't try everything in one game. He says you'll have patience. This is the first time he's had these youngsters on the bench. Well, my question is, why won't you have patience over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 games to see what he does with them? So based on your own logic, why wouldn't you give him more time now that we've been forced into this situation with kids to give them game time? Maybe the best time to bring a couple of them on is at home because you know for a fact Old Trafford's going to be behind them. Even if they will get the way Old Trafford will treat them when they come on, even if they made horrendous mistakes, the crowd is going to cheer for them. The crowd is going to, keep them up. So so that's my point. I get where you're coming from in your anger, but if you're going to be patient with him to try everything, you have to be patient with him so he can try everything. You can't
what I don't understand as well is these fans that persistently put down the players and say they're not good enough, but yet then when you lose, blame the manager. Well, he can only work with what he's got. This is the trouble with Ange Postecoglou as well. I'm not saying that I'm Angie in, Angie out, whatever. It's a completely different situation. But Amorim's only been here since November. He needs time to bring in the players that he needs. This is probably why he didn't want to come when he came. He wanted to wait.
Yeah.
Start building his squad. I just think nowadays, as soon as that you get a run of bad results, the answer to every fan is sack the manager. And it's
I already told you, Kate, it's not fashionable. It's not fashionable.
No.
It's not trendy. It's not easy. It's much easier, Kate, to sit here and say standards than to sit here and talk about actual issues with squad building. What did you get wrong? How do you not get that in the next signing? It's too complicated for imbeciles. I said that. It is just too complicated. So they'll sit here and say that. And unfortunately, YouTube is infested with these people. Everyone wants to be the next one on the No Context Fan TV on Twitter because they want to sit there and scream and jump around like I don't know. It's just funny to me. It's funny to me.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not even about wanting the manager sacked. There's no solution ever. There's no, and I get what Jords did when he came on. He came on to wind me up. I bit me.
He's a rival. That's fine, Terry.
Exactly. And we got in there.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's part of it. But it's just, for me, there's never a solution. There's never a solution in any of these conversations, and it's jarring. Mo left to go and watch Juve beat Inter. I'm redirecting you guys there in a minute, so go wind him up. Ruben ignoring our academy, our DNA is cowardly. Again, but look. When you say this, Dodge, when you say this, up until if there wasn't an injury, Collie is starting today, right? Academy. If Mainu's not injured, he's starting today. Academy, right? Garnacho played today. Academy, right? So this is what I don't understand about. A few weeks ago, and this is why I call out the nonsense. A few weeks ago, when the club was talking about selling maybe Garnacho or Mainu if they didn't improve, if they didn't train hard, if the right money came in, I saw big presenters go, maybe Man United's 80-odd year, we might lose it soon. We might lose the 80-year record soon of an academy player being in every match they squad since. We've got nowhere near that since. There's been on average 3 starting most games and a couple on the bench. It's just crazy. The academy isn't being ignored. The irony is there's a manager that we call the greatest of his generation who often fields benches with only 5 people on it when he's got injuries, and he doesn't give you a chance on it. But yeah, our man, it's crazy. United were 4 points off 4th when Amorim took over. Yes. And then what we did is we are systematically ripping everything apart and trying to So Danny Devil in the details. And if I get this slightly wrong, if he hears this, I'm not putting you down. I'm just trying to understand your present what I understand your issue to be. His biggest issue with Ineos and Amorim is that we shouldn't have done this mid-season, because essentially you're stripping everything back, and you're trying to rebuild it as an example, but you're doing it when games are going on. So yes, we have gone backwards in that regard, but the rationale behind it is we are going to go backwards to rebuild, to go forward and sustain it in the future. Now, there's no guarantees that is going to happen, that we're going to reach the peak and then sustain it. But we have to go through this rebuild process to get there. How do we know this is a fact? How do we know it's a fact? Because the previous 5 times, we have empirical evidence that 5 times prior, we have sacked a manager mid-build of his squad, and we have consistently changed direction, and we have never continued anything through to fruition. So we have 5 pieces of factual information that have shown how we've got to this point. This time round, we're trying to do it different. Now, again, if you think it isn't going to work, I totally understand. But what's your solution? There has to be a solution. And if your solution is do what we've done before, I'm just not going to listen to it. As in, I'll listen to your opinion and go, thank you for telling me, but I'm not going to take it seriously. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Give me English Talent FC. Thank you for your super chats and your donations. An ulterior solution to what we're trying to do and what we've done the previous 5 times. Give me an alternative solution. We're waiting. Pick any manager you want. The same issues occur. We are paying for the sins of 20 years of mismanagement. There are no quick fixes. I assume you agree with this, Staffy and KJ.
People like Gudja King give me hope in life. That's all. Thank you, brother. God bless you, Gudja King. I hope you have a great day, man.
Dodge King says a good point, Terry. You don't need to apologize for an opinion, my bro. Like that's not the point of the to and the fro. Like it's not about apologizing. But thank you. I did want to come when I come either Kate, but my ex still left me.
Wait, what?
Like you got an admirer, Kate.
I don't even want to
it's probably easier to not understand that. It's not easier. Look, I want to say a big congratulations to Tottenham today. Well done on your victory. Deserved in the end. You took your chances. We didn't. We're back tomorrow with... Oh, sorry, hang on. Terry, will Staffy go into hiding if Moyes beats Amorim?
When have I ever hid from anything?
To be fair, you did say you're going to hide if if we sack Amorim, that's when you'd go into hiding.
Oh, not hiding. It wouldn't be hiding. It just would be like, I'm just done. I don't need to be here. I don't care no more. That's more of like, it's not hiding because like I don't want to be like I just might as well just stop watching.
Yeah.
And by the way, this whole Moyes thing, because I see a couple people ask me that, Moyes is outperforming every single manager in the Premier League since he took over. If you're gonna use that logic, then question why he has more points than Slot.
What's probably going to happen is in a year or in a couple of years' time, Man United will be somewhere nearer, higher up the table, which is typically even under the Glazers. We've typically been up the top end of the table, and then Man are going to be in relegation and talking about sacking David Moyes. And we always do this. There's always that sort of everyone focuses on the manager that has the new manager bounce and goes, "That's what I want." It's like, yeah, again, you want short-term gratification over long-term building and success.
Look at Glasner. Like, he's a good coach. Man was in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
Technically still is because he's near us. But you know what I mean? At the start of this season, he was awful.
Well, yeah, but the back end of last season, he was the pin-up example of what a great manager and a new system at a club looks like. And then it goes backwards a little bit as he's building more. And fairness to him, he lost players as an example. But yeah, I don't want any of this short-term bullshit.
It's an irrelevant comparison, is what I'm trying to say. Because David Moyes didn't go into Everton trying to rebuild. They didn't say, "Hey, Moyes, listen, I want you to come in and I need you to develop a new system and rebuild these players. We're gonna get rid of every senior player we have, and we're gonna start recruiting young players." That's not what happened. Amorim came in with the intention of a rebuild mid-season.
Yeah,
with a bunch of players that are all young.
There's
rarely any senior players in it. Most of them are getting loaned out. Moyes just came in and played Moyes the same players that were used to. Because what's the difference between Moyes and Shandesh? It's not that much.
Nothing.
Like it's not that different.
The like for like example, even at a pound for pound level, is if Ruben Amorim took over Bayer Leverkusen and they dropped this quickly, that for me is a managerial issue. You're taking over a team that plays the same formation, similar style of play, a team that's at the top, a team that's doing very, very well, to the top of its game, that is, it's second in the league, but doing very, very well. If he went in there and they dropped like a stone, then you've got a point. But I think if he took over that squad, you'd see a very different Bayer Leverkusen. You see a very different situation. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's the cooking analogy that we used before. If you were sitting there, if you're in the kitchen right now and you're cooking, I don't know, like rice and chicken, and you say, "Staffy, come over and just finish what I'm doing right now." And then there's another example where you're cooking something else and you're like, "Oh, KJ, I want you to start cooking Chinese right now." One person has to continue a job that already existed, and one person has to completely cook something new. Which person is going to take longer? The person that has to start from scratch all over again. And the person that started from scratch is Amorim. Yeah. And as you said earlier, he's starting it mid-season. It should have never been a mid-season job. That's how it is.
I agree. Listen, I want to thank everybody that's tuned in. I want to thank the panel. Thank you all for coming on. I say congratulations to Spurs on your victory. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.